Honourable Member for Cardston-Siksika.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'd like to also thank the member from Edmonton-Decor for his remarks, particularly outlining his connection, his family connection to the military. Like him, I too share a family connection to the military, and I'd just like to kind of respond to that and saying that I am the grandson of Jack Harker and Paul Schow. Both men served in World War II, something that I am very proud of and I'm very passionate to speak about, because without these gentlemen, without the service that they provided and gave to this country, we may not have the opportunity to stand in this chamber today and even have this conversation. But when I think about the military and when I think about those who serve our country, I often think about my grandparents and what they were asked to do at such a young age. At 18 years old, my grandfather Jack Harker went off to war to become a bomber pilot. He flew a Halifax bomber in the Second World War. And so at 18, when I was lacing up basketball shoes, he was lacing up combat boots. When I was putting on a jersey, he was putting on a thick leather insulated coat to fly this bomber on bomber missions. And when I was doing team huddles and basketball, he was doing a flight pre-check with men who may not return back to their families. That's the kind of service that I think about. And I wonder if youth today growing up understand that. While many of them are playing video games, my grandparents were not playing, they were at war. And so sometimes I think the impact and the gravity of the service of our military is lost on some people. And I hope that isn't the case, but I find that might be true. And I've even heard some people go as far as saying that people who join the military, they do it by choice. And so it's no different than any other job. And that could not be further from the truth. Name me one other job that you go to every day that you may not return home from, with the exception of our first responders. So yes, it is a choice to join the military, but that choice takes significantly more deliberation than, say, do I take this job at this ad agency or this ad agency? What is at stake? And for that sacrifice, I'm so grateful for gentlemen like Brock Blaschek, who made that decision to go and fight for our country. So then the question I've heard asked today is, if we agree on this motion, then why are we even having the discussion? And in my opinion, Madam Speaker, the answer is simple. Because we won't stand idly by and let the federal government do something as cowardly as cut funding for our military veterans. It is patently unreasonable that this Prime Minister would have the audacity to pay out $10.5 million to a convicted terrorist and turn around and tell our military veterans they're asking too much. It's disgraceful. It's despicable. And I'm surprised the Prime Minister had the audacity to say that to Mr. Blaschek's face, and then he stands behind it. So, Madam Speaker, I don't want to take too long in these remarks, but I needed it to be on the record, to be part of this conversation, that I support this motion wholeheartedly for a number of reasons. For Jack Harker, for Paul Schow, for Brock Blaschek, and for every other member of the military who has served and is serving now, to show respect for them and for the things that they do, so that we can be here in this chamber and speak freely on behalf of our constituents. And with that, Madam Speaker, I'll conclude my remarks.